This US singer is already a genre leader with 12 Grammy nominations since her 2008 debut, and her latest EP cements her status with a cinematic picture of 6 women commodified by their beauty. She has established herself as one of the music's most talented vocalists. Her powerful voice, piercing lyricism, and compelling performances have earned her acclaim worldwide. But there was a point when she appeared to become so dissatisfied with the industry that she left it. Here's additional information about her career and why she left music. It would be great if you like and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon next to it to get notified when we add new, interesting videos in the future. Now let's get back to the story. Sullivan, who was born on April 9, 1987, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, demonstrated promise at a young age. She began performing at local gatherings when she was older, and at the age of 15, she signed a record deal with Jive Records. Sullivan told the Philadelphia Inquirer that she worked on hundreds of songs while with the label, but she was let go shortly after she turned 18. That was a big blow, she added, reflecting on the incident. I was enraged. Everyone was leaving for school, and I had already determined that I was not going to college because singing would be my career. Sullivan later found a new home with J Records, where her debut album, Fearless, was published in 2008. The album, which included the singles Bust Your Windows
I bust the windows out your car.
and Need You Bad,
Boy, I need you bad as my heart beats fast like the food I eat.
did well, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and earning Sullivan her first Grammy nomination. Following that, Sullivan released Love Me Back in 2010, an album she described as deeply personal to National Public Radio. While it had hit songs such as Holding You Down, Going in Circles, and got Grammy nominations, it was not as commercially successful as her debut. Months after the album's release, Sullivan revealed on Twitter that she would be retiring from music. As the comments poured in, Sullivan allegedly erased the tweets, prompting some to believe she would change her mind, but it was later shown that she was serious. Despite all of the attention and Grammy nominations the R&B diva has received in the last 12 years, she still reacts to starry praise with excitement and astonishment. An optimistic tweet suggesting that Insecure's Issa Rae transformed Sullivan's recent EP into a short film elicited a good response. And the pattern was repeated later in the week with Mary J. Blige. Wait, what? I am overjoyed, man. Sullivan took to Twitter after the Soul Star expressed her desire to appear as a guest. To bystanders, the Philadelphia native, who was also chosen to sing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl, was recognized as one of the current R&B greats. When Sullivan first appeared on the music scene in 2008, as a much-touted 21-year-old protege of Missy Elliott, her USP was familiar in the genre, a vocal force of nature honed in church, who drew on personal experience to deliver raw soul in the lineage of Mary J. Blige, with whom she toured in 2010, and Keisha Cole. Her first 2 albums, Fearless and Love Me Back, emphasized this while expanding her range into disco, tango, and reggae. In the years afterwards, Sullivan had received critical acclaim and 12 Grammy nominations, and while she has not achieved a household name recognition, several of her songs have become R&B standards. Megan Thee Stallion used her 2010 single, Holding You Down, Going in Circles, as the foundational sample for Circles, the opening cutoff of Houston rapper Good News Blockbuster 2020 album, Good News. In a series of dramatic tweets in 2011, Sullivan declared her retirement from the music industry, later confessing that her confidence as an artist had eroded to the point where she would not accept show bookings. Sullivan had evolved into the best songwriter and storyteller in R&B since her return in 2014. Her focus on cleanly built character studies was on 2015's unappreciated masterwork, Reality Show. And this month's Ho Tales EP further investigates sex, money, and meditated image of modern black women in Sullivan's most confident work to date. I want to kind of get to the root of why people do certain things, she says. That's more important than the outcome. As a society, we focus on the outcome and we label people based off of that. But what we don't really know, the meat of the story of why people are the way they are. Sullivan's shift to this journalistic mode is notable in an era when the biographical interpretation of pop artists' work is disproportionately valued. Witness the zeal with which fans and critics alike scour Beyoncé and Taylor Swift's lives for clues to their lyrics. and when soul and lived emotion have been considered inextricably linked in R&B songcraft. Throughout Hotels, she captures the experience of 6 diverse, divergent women, a gold digger, a heartbreaker, and an Instagram model, and weaves them together with snatches of her companions' discussions that inspired them. For some of the situations, we would just go out to dinner, and I would put the phone on and we would talk naturally, recalls Sullivan of her interviewing process. For some, it was more intimate of an ask. In Amanda's tale, a friend describes how social media eroded her self-esteem. I asked her to go into a quiet space and record herself about that specific subject. It was very brave of her to do. It's one thing to talk to girlfriends about situations that we go through as women, but another thing to be subject to everyone's opinions and judgments. Sullivan's recurring themes are how sex and beauty might be commodified to achieve material wealth, which she interrogates with harsh but sympathetic enthusiasm. Precious's tale, the other side's narrator, fantasizes about a wealthy lifestyle from a rented room and a dead-end job and believes that her body is her sole feasible means of making it happen. "I'm hoping these titties can get me out of the city," she croons, Sullivan conveying both hope and illusion. "I was surfing Instagram and seeing a lot of beautiful girls, and I was fascinated with their lives, and obviously their physical appearance and what it brought for them," Sullivan says. "Me, I've never experienced that kind of attention for, that particular thing, so I can't write about her enough." Sullivan's personal life is conspicuously absent from the story, though she did say obliquely that pouring into her friends' stories helped her process an old abusive relationship that had gotten physical. But her keen observational skills have deep origins. Her grandmother was a poet and a church preacher. Her mother wrote plays, and she spent her childhood at Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion, a historic museum where her father gave guided tours. Sullivan was up in an isolated and restricted environment, only seeing other children at school, and spent much of her time at home watching Disney and making up stories to keep herself entertained. "It was an interesting process we went through as kids," she recalls. "Where we actually lived was on the 3rd floor, pretty much all the way up in the attic, where the slaves lived. Whenever my dad was doing tours, we kind of had to retreat, and we pretty much only came down to eat. And usually the people on the tours were, white people, and we had to hide and retreat up to the slave quarters." The prospective partnership between Sullivan and Issa Rae has greater significance than merely being a big-name endorsement. Sullivan believes that adapting her stories, which she says have always been visual in her head, to the screen is the inevitable next creative step. It is also a collaboration that makes aesthetic sense. Sullivan and Rae are both authors who seem to adore and root for their characters, despite their complexities and foibles. The inherent value of being human is central to Sullivan's worldview. Hotels by Jazmine Sullivan is without a doubt one of the best R&B albums produced in that year. She has also been quite active on Instagram with fans, encouraging them to share their own hotels. But at that point, she took a break from spilling the beans to reveal some insights about her career, partnerships, and updates on all things hotels. The Philly native prompted fans to ask her anything music related because y'all need to mind your business. When asked which songs of hers were the hardest to write, the 34-year-old singer-songwriter revealed, "I had horrible writer's block leading up to Hotels. I just couldn't write. That's why the response to the project feels that much more special. I wasn't sure I was getting out everything I had inside of me." Sullivan also spoke about her 2015 album, Reality Show, revealing, "Reality Show is one of those projects you either know or you don't. I listened back and was proud. Brand new, mascara, silver lining, hood love, masterpiece, veins. Yeah. Sometimes it's just about timing." She later stated that she is planning a Hotels tour, but she wants to make sure that her following is safe attending performances during the pandemic. She then hinted at the deluxe edition of her most recent album with the message, "Maybe, maybe not," she said, followed by side-eye emojis. But she did clarify that Hotels merch and vinyl are coming. Sullivan stated that she would record a gospel album, tentatively titled Jesus Love Hoes 2, because she began her career in the church. Meanwhile, her supporters pleaded with her to release a live CD. She mentioned SZA, Drake, Summer Walker, but notably Fantasia and Brandy as potential collaborators in the future. Sullivan said of a possible collaboration with Fantasia and Brandy, "We need to find the right song. It must happen." The majority of Sullivan's fans-led Q&As are featured on her Instagram profile. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the section down below. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.